This is a VTube laser training video for tube end scans. End scans or end sweeps are measurements that scan the ends of tubes in order to accurately find the endpoints of the measured tube XYZ centerline. In this video, we'll show different techniques for end scanning and describe how each technique impacts the accuracy of the measurement. This is end scanning along the axis of an end straight. It is simple to use. However, we recommend that you avoid this method as it is not as accurate as the next method. This is an example of end scanning the end wall of the tube. Scanning the end wall is a more accurate method of collecting end data, especially when used with a high number of scan points. To set up VTube for this kind of scan, enter the System Options menu, press Measure To tab, then change the number of LLP strings to 5. And the number of LLP points per string to 500. This setup allows VTube to use a very high number of points to ensure accuracy. We recommend that the strings of points be spread out along the end wall with a slight side-to-side motion of the probe. To allow the points to be spread out during scanning, we used scanner control to set the scan rate to 1/8, which slows the return of data to 12% of the maximum rate. This is the visual result of an effective end scan. In this scan, one of the points of the end wall is the farthest point from the adjacent bend. VTube will find and use that point as the trimming point for the end of the tube. This is why more sample points are better for end scans. After the straight is measured, the end point will be projected. VTube can also scan ends from tactile probes like ball or Renishaw. To set up for tactile, change to the Measure Setup menu and uncheck the Use Laser at Ends by Default checkbox. Then start a measure and collect endpoints using the tactile probe. You can collect any number of points using tactile probes. Press the red button when complete. Tactile measurements are accurate as long as the tube isn't moved when touching the tube. This makes ball probes ideal for larger tube shapes. Just like with a laser scan, the points collected during tactile measurements are displayed on the screen. And also like laser scans, the farthest point from the adjacent bend is used to project for the end point on the straight. VTube also allows for tactile measurement where the tube meets a surface that is blocking access to the end wall. To use this feature, click on Measure Setup, change the offset for the end to show away from bend. This will change the ball probe offset to project in the opposite direction for end scans. When measuring the surface, you can touch any part of the surface that forms a plane that intersects with the end of the tube. After the end scan and the two surface scans on the cylinder are complete, VTube will project away from the adjacent bend to find the new endpoint. You can see the results of the projection offset in this model. Here are tips for end scans. Tests show that laser scanning with one string and 50 points will result in an accuracy of about 20 thousandths, but laser scanning with 3 to 5 strings with up to 500 points per string results in 2 thousandths of an inch accuracy. VTube will automatically remove unneeded points that are far from the selected trim point during endpoint projection. The extra end scan points will not slow VTube down. Tactile scanning even with one point is accurate, but tactile is ideal only for larger tubes. And finally, tactile scanning is always used when the end is blocked by a surface.